Hello, and welcome to The Real Deal Reveal, a magical titty tour about teas, sleaze, and unpopular opinions in showgirl life and beyond. We are your MCs, Sweet Dee and Remi Martini. Please take your seats. The show is about to begin. Hi, Remi.
Hi, Dee. That's sweet Dee.
How
Dee.
are you?
Who did give you some of that Dee? What
That
movie
Dee.
is that again?
Give me some of that.
Give me some of that good Dee.
Isn't that Paul Rudd? Give you some
That's
of that.
Paul Rudd. Dick. Oh,
it's Wanderlust, right?
Wanderlust, yeah. God, that just watched that, and I forgot how fucking good that movie is and how many quotes that I get from that movie.
I need to watch it again. It's been a while.
And I'm sure you saw the photo I posted, hanging out with the McDonald's. Like, we didn't get the Irish luck, but we definitely, one of our ancestors kissed the Blarney Stone, because we bullshit like nobody's business, and we love movie quotes.
Oh my god, I love movie quotes.
We just
speak in movie quotes.
Yeah. So do the McDonald's daily. So yeah, I showed up. We went. My cousin Robert wanted to take us down to his daughter down to the drag to see the lights, the Bellagio, the fountain, and all this, and see. Mm-hmm. She'd never been to Vegas, and that's a pretty crazy fucking experience, especially for kids. And so we went down there and we came back, and the whole family, I guess, rewatched Saturday Night Live. And my cousin Charlie has always done really good Dana Carvey impersonations. And I love that Dana Carvey is now doing Biden. And so he was like, here, check this out. Or doing whatever, how Dana Carvey does the impersonation of Biden, but my cousin was doing it perfectly. So yeah. And then the other, my cousin Robert, when I told him that, we're going for Thanksgiving, his eyes lit up. And of course he had to quote Christmas Vacation. He's like, we're going to have the happiest holidays since Bing Crosby, and
fucking Kane.
Yeah, he quoted that, and I was like, I'm like, yeah, this is definitely my family. And then of course, I take a picture, and they all look great in it, and I'm like, I look like I just jumped into like, wee. We went to an Irish casino, it was called the Emerald Island, and it is everything that you want a shady old casino to be, right?
This is in Vegas?
This is Henderson, Nevada.
Okay.
And we went there because my uncle liked going to this, which I was surprised, because the last time I saw my Uncle Mark was for for another memorial service for a family member a month ago. And Uncle Mark was there. And I'm like, oh, you live in Vegas? And he was that kind of, Irish guy. He's like, it's not Vegas, it's Henderson. And I'm like, which now that I've been there, I'm like, you mean 20 minutes from Vegas. But yeah, so the fact that my cousin's like, oh, this was his favorite casino to go to. And I was like, just by his remarks, I would have assumed that he didn't like going to casinos. But it's a cheesy building. It looks all elaborate, but it's not huge. Other casinos away from the Strip in Vegas, they're fucking huge in the middle. They're like these skyscrapers in the middle of fucking nowhere neighborhoods. And so it's not like that, but it kind of is. But I walk in to meet them, and they're playing. It's like what you see on fucking movies and television, which I hadn't been into. I'd only been into the big elaborate ones, and I'm just like, this is also what you see. But it reeked of smoke. And then they were playing Olivia Newton-John, and it, right? So, and it's nothing but all these retired old people, and it's nothing but slots.
Are we talking Let's Get Physical, Olivia Newton-John? Are we talking what Olivia Newton-John are we talking about?
No, it wasn't Let's Get Physical, but it was close to that.
Is it I love you?
Was it that one? Now I'm stuck on which Olivia Newton-John it was, but yeah, it was just definitely an experience to behold. And then the fact that it was called Emerald Island and we're the McDonald's going there, It was fun. It was fun.
Sounds like a good time was had.
We were there for a whopping 20 minutes because, yeah, I especially slot machines. I like sparkly things. I like lights. I cannot stand slot machines. I don't get
like
off
the noise.
The noise. And you don't get coins anymore. Like if I got coins like a leprechaun, then I'd be all for it. Like I could possibly be showered with coins.
Like a leprechaun.
Shower me with coins. But but the fact that it's just dinging.
But there is something cool like about that like, tangible coinage that you can like touch, right? Like it's no fun with the cards or whatever they put them on now. Like,
oh yeah, it's all digital, and then all you get is like
it's like a ticket or something.
A bunch of So it's all the tangible versus just noise. I don't get off on noise. That doesn't do anything for me. Ringing lights, bright little imaging doesn't do anything for me. I want coinage and. Yeah, and I didn't even have to put any money, but I did call Mr. Martini beforehand and was like, hey, the cousins talked me into going to a casino with them, and he's like, what? Because, he's frugal. We'll call it frugal. And here I am we'll call him frugal. And here I am in Vegas, untethered, going to a casino, and he's like...
I love that.
I'm like, yeah, my cousin talked me into, because, we wanted to go put in $20, but I didn't even, it made him even happier because I'm like, okay, I'm like, I just put a card in this, right? And $20. And they're like, yeah, just use our money. So I was just hitting using my other cousin's coinage and like, I'm like, this is all you do. You just hit a button. And they're like, yeah, you just hit.
Yeah.
Just hit a button. I don't see how people can sit there. No offense to anybody who loves slot machines. I have lots of friends who love slot machines.
Yeah. I don't gamble when I go to Vegas. I'm more of like let's go to a show
or let's go fly a mile high above
a mile high plane. Yeah, that's my. But Mr. Maxim gambles, but he's good at it though. Like one time we went, I think we went to go see Def Leppard. I can't remember what the event was, but I think it was to go see Def Leppard. And he's like, I'm gonna stay behind and gamble for a little bit. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to bed because it was like late. I woke up at 6 a.m. and he wasn't there. And I was like, what the hell? And then he walked in and he goes, ask me how much money I won. And I was like, okay, he said won, not lost. So that's good.
Right.
And I go, how much? And he took $1,000 out of his jacket and like threw it. Like he went like on the bed. And I go, oh my God, did you just indecent proposal me?
$1,000?
Just like threw it at me on the bed. And I was like, how much is that? But yeah, he's really good at it. Like, yeah, I don't know if it's like he's just lucky or what, but
it's lucky. And I understand that Irish luck is not, it's a joke. And to me, like, here's how I don't see the point of, if I'm going to take money and waste it or blow it, which is basically what you're fucking doing, I'd much rather go to a dispensary and spend $1,000 at a dispensary or go to a spa. And at least at that point in time, I look relaxed and I can't.
Yeah. The idea of like wasting, like quote unquote, wasting money. I can't do it. Even if I was like a billionaire, I feel like I still couldn't do it. Like whenever I have like sat down to like, do a slot machine or like even blackjack or something, the second I lose, I go, I'm out, and I cash out. I just like hit the button and cash out. And he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I can't do it.
I can't do it. I'm up $5. But yeah, here we go. Digressed at the beginning of the show. Las Vegas.
Well, that's our catch up. Yeah. So today, that's our catch up. Today we have story time. We have Showgirl story time. Okay. So I don't know what story you're bringing to the table, but I think I told you this story just already like a long time ago.
Do we want to pull a card before we do story time?
Let's pull it at the end. Let's close it. Let's close it with a card.
That sounds good to me.
With a card.
Close it with a card for the week.
We just came off of this fucking Aries full moon and it made me feel like I needed to burn everything down. I don't know how everybody else is feeling out there.
Oh, It was like that. But my moon is in Aries, so my moon is naturally uncomfortable because Aries is opposite of what like the moon normally stands for. Aries is like go 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 get shit done.
Yeah, I'm still like recovering from that
it was
full moon.
horrible.
Like I can't. But now we are in Scorpio season. It's my season.
Oh, jeez. Scorpios.
It's my
So
season.
you're going to tell a story.
We're going to do story time. Do you want me to go first?
You go.
Okay. So yeah, we're going to do these showgirl story times from time to time because I think they're fun. I think they're funny. And it just kind of breaks up, you know, the pace, I guess, of episodes and stuff.
Something different.
Yeah, something different. So I'm going to start this off. Do you remember the show Are You Afraid of the Dark? from Nick at Night? Was it Snick? Where they would begin their storytelling like this. They would say, submitted. What did they say? Like, submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society.
No, I don't. There's a show. What was it called again?
You don't remember Are You Afraid of the Dark? It was Saturday night.
I just quoted it with you. Yeah, no, I remember being an asshole.
Yeah, don't mess with me like that, Remi.
That was way before my time.
No, it was not. No, it was not. It was 1992, bitch. It was not before your time.
It was the summer of 92.
It was 1992.
Yeah, so
I remember the lineup. It was Clarissa Explains It All, followed by Roundhouse. This was the original lineup, followed by Ren and Stimpy, followed by Are You Afraid of the Dark? And then later on, they brought in like other shows or whatever, but that was the original lineup, the OG lineup. And Are You Afraid of the Dark was the last one. And they would always say, submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society. I call this story, and then they'd throw the sand on the fire. So I'm going to call this story the case of the Shrimp Bandit. I don't know about the case. I just went Scooby-Doo all of a sudden. I went from Are You Afraid of the Dark to Scooby-Doo. The case. No, the story of the Shrimp Bandit. Okay, so this is my showgirl story. So this happened, I want to say, in January of this year. I think it happened this year. I can't remember. I think it happened this year in January. I want to say that. Okay, so let me preface this with saying that my husband and I live in alternative marriage. we are open. We are ethically non-monogamous. And we, from time to time, like to, you know, open up dating apps and see what the haps is.
Woo-hoo!
And immediately I regret it almost every time. Like I open up the dating apps and I'm like, I've made a huge mistake. I'm burning everything down. But we had done that in I want to say January, and I got matched pretty quickly. And so I was like, okay, so started talking to this guy, and everything was fine. I think he told me he was either from Texas or went to school at UT because that came up. And, you know, we talked. Then I told him that I had a show in Portland, and he was like, oh, can anybody go to that? And I was like, yeah, it's a show. Like, you know, so he asked me to send him the information, and I was like, okay, but this happens to me all the time. Like, oh yeah, you have a show, give me the information, and then never show up, whatever. So I didn't think anything of it. And the next time I talked to him, he was talking about like getting a hotel room. And I was like, whoa, slow down, bro. Like, I don't even know if we've got like good chemistry in person, like blah, 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 blah. But he was like, well, he lived far away too. So for him, he was like, it makes sense for me to like stay in town. And I was like, okay, if you want to get a room for yourself, knock yourself out. But, you know, slow down. So I didn't think he was going to show up. 9 times out of 10, I get ghosted. So I just like went on my merry way, like not even thinking about it. I told Mr. Maxim about it, whatever. So then I'm backstage. I'm at the venue. I'm like putting my makeup on, like getting my costume on. And he messages me. He's like, hey, I'm here. And I was like, oh shit, you actually showed up? Like I was kind of impressed. I was like, oh my God. So
and you don't know anything about a showgirl because you don't contact them
on show day.
On show day. You don't contact them 3 hours before show unless you're saying just wish you luck.
How dare you? Yeah, how dare you? Exactly. Yeah, because I'm not like really on my phone like show day unless I'm like rehearsing or I'm like taking videos or some pictures, whatever. But Yeah. So it just so happened that when I'm backstage, I have like my little showgirl case, and I have a little phone clip that I attach to it, so that way I can record myself like getting dressed or, you know, putting my makeup on. So it just so happened to be looking at me when the message came through, and I like opened it. I was like, oh. And so I told Mr. Maxim, who was also there, he was out in the audience, and I was like, hey, this dude is here. So I don't know if you want to like go introduce yourself, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, totally. So I told him, I was like, hey, you know, he's there. Y'all can meet, blah, blah, blah. So I like peeked out and I saw them sitting together, and I was like, okay, they're cool, cool, cool. And I feel like I also feel like he told me that he might have been conservative-ish, like maybe he was Christian, or I don't know, something like that. Like I can't remember because like, it was a while ago. So I was like, do you know what you're getting into? Like coming to a burlesque show, you know? Like I'm pretty sure I told him that because, you know, just FYI. He's like, yeah. He's never been to one. So I opened the show. I told him that. I was like, I'm opening the show. Once I'm done, I'll probably take 1 to 2 songs to get out of my costume and into my after show dress, and then I'll be right out. And he's like, cool. So I perform, do my thing, go backstage, whatever. I go out there to meet him officially in person. And he was like, oh my God, that was so great. That was so amazing. This is so great. And I'm like, oh, awesome, blah, blah, blah. As I'm talking to him, my stomach starts growling because
show day.
After I perform, I don't eat all day long. And then after I perform, my stomach's like, bitch, you have not fed me all day. So I'm like, I'll be right back. I'm going to go get some food. We get, at the time, I don't think they do it anymore, but at the time they used to give us comps so we could get drinks or food. And I was like, I'm going to get some food. So I go to the window, order shrimp. I ordered coconut shrimp, get it, bring it back to the table. So I put it at the table, and I'm talking to him. I'm like, what do you think? How do you like it? And he's like, this is amazing, blah, blah, blah. Like, we're having conversation. So I, you know, reach in to grab a shrimp, and I take a bite, and I put it back in. Then I see his little hand like slide in and take a shrimp, and he eats it, and
without
I'm looking
consent.
at him. What?
Without consent, without
asking. Like, just he takes a shrimp and he like eats it. And so at first I was like, maybe he thinks this is like table shrimp. Like maybe he thinks this is like for everybody, you know?
Right.
Like, you know, my bad. I mean, I didn't realize I had to make like a disclaimer of like, this is my shrimp.
My shrimp, bitch.
But I was like, okay, I'm going to let that slide. I'm not going to like, you know, so we're continuing to talk. Of course, like the show's going on, so we're not talking while the show's going on. But anytime there's like the little break and the MC's coming out and the kitten's cleaning up, whatever, you know, like little chat, whatever. And intermission like hits, and I go to like take another shrimp. He ate all of my shrimp.
That motherfucker.
He fucking ate all of my shrimp. Like the lights kind of go on. It's intermission. I like go down to reach, and it's all tails. Like that's all that's left in my little bowl. And I was like, when the fuck did he eat my fucking shrimp? Like this guy was like a ninja with his hands. Like I did not see him reach for that shrimp any other time except for the first time. So I'm like, when did he do that? Like when did he do that? So I'm looking down at my bowl of tails, and he's like, I'm going to step outside to smoke a cigarette or something like that. And I was like, okay, yeah, you go do that. And so he
a cigarette
leaves,
after the meal.
right?
You have a cigarette after the meal.
have to have a cigarette after the meal, right? So he leaves. He goes outside. Mr. Maxim's standing behind me, and I like turn around and I look at him, and he's like, what? And I go, that guy ate my food. And he goes, what do you mean? And I go, look. And I like showed him my empty bowl. And like the look he gave me, he was like, what do you mean he ate your food? And I was like, look. And so he's like, that's weird. And I go, I'm still like so dumbfounded right now. Like, what? So he's like, where did he go? I go, he went outside to smoke a cigarette. He goes, okay. So then like 10 minutes go by. They're like, hey, intermission's ending. He has not come back. And I'm like, where is he? So I'm looking over the bar and he's like, is he in the bathroom? I was like, I don't know. So he goes to use the bathroom. He's like, well, he's not in there. And the other one's empty too. And I was like, okay. And I go, he said he went outside. So Mr. Maxim steps outside to go look for him. Not there. So he comes back. He's like, he's not there. And I go, did he fucking leave? Like, did he see my titties, eat my shrimp, and then fucking leave?
A man's got to eat, Dean. A man's got to eat by any means. That was probably the most expensive shrimp dinner. Oh, no, I guess it would have just been the cost of the show, right?
It was just the cost of the show because it was my comp, but like, yeah.
Yeah.
I messaged him. I was like, where are you? Like, the show's about to start again. Nothing. Like, no answer. I was like, I'm sitting there. Like, the show starts. The MC's talking. I'm like, I look at Mr. Maxim and I was like, so he fucking ate my shrimp and then left. And Mr. Maxim is just sitting there like shaking his head. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Am I on like a candid camera show?
Yeah,
like we're like, what just happened? And I can't even enjoy the rest of the show because I like my flabber is gasted. Like I
and
was
you're
just
hungry.
I'm still looking for him. I'm still like looking over my shoulder. I'm still like, well, maybe he's like in the hallway. He doesn't want to disrupt the show. Like, no. And so like after like the last act goes, I go backstage so we can do our curtain call. And I had already told some of the performers backstage that this guy was coming and he was here. So they kind of knew a little bit. And I looked at him and I go, dude, the guy came and he ate my shrimp and left. And they all looked at me like, what? And I was like, the guy I told y'all about, they're like, yeah. I'm like, he ate my shrimp, my comped shrimp, and then left. They were looking at me like, I don't understand what you're saying. And then so we have our curtain call, whatever, show ends, and I start packing up my stuff, and I'm still just like question marks, like just floating around my head. And so then I text a couple of my friends. I think I texted you. I texted a friend of mine in Colorado, and I think I texted another friend, and I kind of gave them the rundown, and they all were like, oh, what? And you sent me the emoji of like the shrimp and then somebody running away.
The shrimp bandit.
You're like, shrimp and run, you know?
Shrimp and run.
And so,
Eat.
so we go home. I take my makeup off. I get in my pajamas. And I'm sitting on the bed, and I'm like, I look at Mr. Maxim. I go, did that really happen? Like, can somebody please explain it to me? And my friend was like, well, maybe. My friend goes, maybe the shrimp made his stomach upset, and he had to take a poo. So he left. He couldn't poo at the club or whatever. I was like,
but still.
I started dying. I was crying. And then my other friend was like, well, do you think maybe he went to the hotel? And I was like, well, I don't fucking know because he never responded. Like I sent him, I think like 3 messages, nothing. And then the next day, cause I go, that's pretty weird that you just left without telling me. Like, that's what I said. I was like, you just left without telling me. That's pretty weird. And my other friend was like, well, maybe like the titties were too overwhelming for him. Like maybe once he got there, he was like, wow, there's like nude like people on stage. And this is way more than I thought I could handle. Maybe like some social anxiety set in or something. And I was like, that's fine. That's fine if
don't
that
eat
did
my
happen.
fucking shrimp.
But just tell me, don't eat my shrimp and then leave. But like also just tell me, be like, hey, like I'm going to bounce because blah, blah, blah. Like just send me a quick little note, you know? And the next day I said, hey, not sure what is going on here. But I'm going to give you like till this time to like get back to me. And then I'm out. And so I don't know. I have no idea what happened to the shrimp bandit because I unmatched him and we disconnected. And
if you have any information on the shrimp bandit,
he was wearing a University of Texas polo shirt.
Never trust those UT fucking fans. Oh, wasting. I'm still in Texas.
Yeah. So that is the story of what we dubbed the Shrimp Bandit, because, and like even Mr. Maxim was like, do you think maybe that was like a kink for him? Like, I was like, to go and eat somebody's food and then leave? Like, is that a thing?
Yep. You never know.
I was like, how did he even know that I was going to get food? Like, I literally made my decision in that moment to get food.
Oh, he was waiting. He was playing the long game. He's like, maybe she'll get food. Maybe she won't. And if she does, I will somehow sneak, 10 shrimp under her nose or 6 shrimp, whatever, 5 shrimp under her nose.
I need to know his ways, because the way he did that without me knowing is like masterful. Like,
so I love you, Dee, and I know you're probably really observant. And I'm not saying that you're not. I'm not. But
I am really observant.
But you're distracted by tits and ass. Come on.
Yeah, I guess I was distracted by all the titties. But,
titties and ass.
Yeah,
he's like,
I guess I was.
She's looking at the titties.
Titty distraction, pocket sand, poof, like. Like, I am still so confused about. That has never happened to me before. I've never been dying and dashed like that before. Yeah, so it is still a mystery. The Shrimp Bandit is still out there, and I often think about what are his thoughts on it? Like, I wonder if he ever sits and stares out into the universe and is like, yeah, I can't believe I fucking ate her food and then just left, and then never got back to her on that. Just left her hanging. Does he tell that story the way I'm telling this story right now? Does he tell that story to his friends? Yeah, man, I connected with this burlesque dancer. I went to her show and
saw her titties, ate her shrimp.
I saw her titties, ate her shrimp, and then I fucking bounced.
I showed that bitch. Bitch went to bed hungry.
And I did, because I used my one comp. I had 2 comps. Of course, I used one for a drink, and then I used the other one for food. And in Maine, everything fucking closes so early.
6 o'clock.
So there's no late night places, to grab some food. And yeah, so I did go to bed hungry. I think I had a PB&J when I got home.
Mr. Maxim didn't give me some of the Sorry. Let's get that inappropriate real quick.
Oh my God. Yeah. So that's my story. That's my story of the Shrimp Bandit. So thank you.
Thank you for letting me.
Thank you and good night.
Thank you. Good night. Mic check. Well, and having to follow the Shrimp Bandit story, I haven't had a Shrimp Bandit, and I feel like maybe I'm doing something wrong as a performer, because, me and Mr. Smith also have a somewhat alternate, but yeah, I've only had couples that we were interested in, that we were courting, come to a show, and then they just never responded. And I'm and I just have to tell myself, I was just too much for them. They were shit, we're going to get this fucking wildcat in bed and she's going to be like, who knows?
That's hot though. That's hot. What you just did right now, that's hot. But no, sometimes I think about that too. I'm because obviously to me, I'm just this big old dork that likes to recite movie quotes every 5 seconds. But to them, it's she just fucking took her clothes off on stage in front of all these people. What am I getting myself into? So I can understand that. Okay, I might have been intimidated. A little intimidated. but just tell me, man. I have so much more respect for someone that's and people have done this before. Guys have been you know what? I think you're really sexy. I think you're really attractive, but honestly, I'm fucking intimidated. And I laugh. I don't mean to, but again, I'm just me? I'm intimidated, But I get it. And I'm and I go, yeah, okay, noted. Thank you for telling me that. I'm but, and then after that, it's kind of whatever they want to do after that. But I respect that more than just somebody fucking bouncing and
Ghosting.
like never hearing from them again, you know? Because then I'm sitting there wondering, I'm like, is it me? Did I offend? Do I smell?
Well, yeah. And that's, you know, like, and call me old. I'm old. But, like, everybody can be fucking assholes here, and everybody can fucking ghost if they fucking want to. But it's fucking rude. And in this day and age where nobody fucking talks face to face or even over the phone with each other, just send a rude ass fucking text like, your butthole smelled, or I smelled your butthole from a mile away, which I guess nowadays kids like the butthole a lot. So, or something, right? Instead of just
something like, yeah, I can't do this. Even that, like, yeah, I can't do this. Like, okay, but I mean, I guess something is better than nothing, because yeah, you're just left there like, what happened? Because the thing that blows my mind is the fact that he showed up. Like, I never get anybody that shows up to a date, let alone a burlesque show. You know what I mean? And so like so when he was like, "Hey, I'm here," I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, he really showed up. Like, okay, and I was impressed. I was like, not gonna lie, I was a little turned on. I was like, "Whoa!" Like, he means business, you know. So then for it to flatline unexpectedly like that was like a kick to the tit, man.
I bet. I bet. And then it makes you questioning. And for overthinkers like us, like, you're like, there could be a million things. Did I have shrimp hanging out of my teeth? Like, oh no, that's right.
I even thought about like, maybe he was intimidated by Mr. Maxim because he's fucking standing behind me like my bodyguard. Because, you know, like, Mr. Maxim is huge. He's just like tall and beefy. And of course, when he dresses up, he looks even more like a sharp dressed man. So I'm like, maybe he was sitting there and just like looking over my shoulder at Mr. Maxim and is like, like, maybe he just couldn't handle that. You know what I mean? I mean, it could be a bunch of different things. I'll never know. Like I said, I'll never know. Maybe he'll listen to this and be like, oh man, yeah, maybe I should reach out to her and tell her what happened.
And maybe you'll get some gold belly shrimp from somewhere. Will come and be delivered to you. You'll get a shrimp bouquet.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. But yeah, thank you, Shrimp Bandit. All right, over to you, Remi. What's your story?
Now I feel like I'm just falling flat, you know, from such a hilarious story. What should I submit this story called the Goo Goo Muck.
Midnight Society. What?
The Goo Goo Muck. The Goo Goo Muck. So, this is going to be a story of my second time performing. So this would have been way before, probably a year before you joined the troupe or whatnot. And so the second performance I ever did, it was right after, and I can't think right now. I'm so brain dead, but we were doing a Cramps tribute show because the lead singer had passed away, and I can't even think right now. I can barely remember my name. So we were doing a Cramps tribute show, and we were, and Big Star was invited to it. And so I was excited because it was like my official, like my first show, you know, you pop your cherry, but this is like, okay, like I can pick my favorite Cramps song and come up with a number for it. So I was given a list of songs that weren't taken, and Goo Goo Muck was one of them. And I've always kind of liked Goo Goo Muck. I like the rhythm of it. I just like the song of it. So I came up with this, you know, what you find out like a month and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, planning this wonderful routine, a month and a half. And I was really proud of it. So, you know, I was going to do a jungle theme because to me, like, Goo Goo Muck was like, it just had this jungly vibe, and I wasn't trying to like go by the story of the song. Mm-hmm. I was trying to just do something cute to the song or whatnot. So the night before performing this, I get a message from one of my troupe members letting me know that they were informed that when submitting, which knows how things happen. It can be, some productions can be quite a cluster, right? And so find out the night before the show that my song is already taken by another performer.
The night before?
Mm-hmm. The night before, I was told.
Who dropped that ball?
No clue. No clue, because you have multiple parties involved. So you have the show producer, right? And then you have my troupe, who I'm not in communication with the show producer, so I don't know if it was dropped on my troupe. The ball was dropped on, but either way, I'm told the night before that Goo Goo Muck is already being performed to by another performer, so I have to figure out another song, right? So as a performer, this shit happens, right? I've had to go on, for a Big Star show, I had to go on, not a Big Star, a Stars and Garters show in San Antonio. They were playing the wrong song, and they were playing it for so long that I just ended up going on stage because I'm just like, I'm not waiting
that
any
has
longer.
Happened to so many of us.
All of us. So it's one of those
just
things.
Keep going.
So it was a really good crash course on this shit's going to happen, and you need to figure out how to roll with it. So the night before, I was listening to all the Cramp songs that had not been taken, which we're talking burlesque performers. So all the ones that you know and you love, it's taken, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to have to go for, and that also made me appreciate the B-side, right? The ones that a lot of people, whatever. So, because I already had the jungle outfit, I just went ahead and did the Jungle Rock song. And it, like, I spent all night trying to come up with, choreography for it, then woke up early in the morning to go to a troupe member's house to rehearse that number over and over and over again until I had to get ready for the show. And went out there, and again, it was it's jungle rock, so it's a jungle theme, so it was really easy to do. It was Ginger Snaps that performed Goo Goo Muck, and so that was my first introduction to Miss Ginger Snaps, and like the fact that you're going to have to roll with it. And nowadays, I really like the burlesque roulette, right? Where you just perform to whatever song and you go out there and you do it. It's fun. It's different. You perform off the cuff. You get some crazy moves. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes it's just whatever. But it did make me realize real quick that, I might have to do this again, or I might have to just come up with a number off the cuff. And it was just fun to Now I look back and it was fun. I was super fucking stressed out because it was the second time on stage. Yeah. The anxiety, and then having to wake up super early in the morning, and it wasn't super early in the morning, if I'm being honest. We're talking burlesque people. So, I think I got to their house at like 10 or 9 a.m. and started rehearsing it. I showed my titties, and that's all that matters. Fast forward to, present day, and what song has become so fucking popular thanks to the Wednesday show? Because that's the song that she dances to. Mm-hmm. So when I started watching Wednesday, and I'm not going to say that I don't listen to Goo Goo Muck. I'm a Cramps fan. I was a Cramps fan before this happened. So yes, I still listen to Goo Goo Muck. But because I have trauma associated.
You're like triggering. Your eye starts twitching.
I'm like, well, yeah, because the first notes, because what? Any song a burlesque performer performs to, that you watch them perform to, that they've listened to that song a million cajillion times. Mm-hmm. Like a full day of listening to that song on repeat. Just coming up with choreography to it. Like you're listening to it on repeat going, okay, when should this? When should this? When should this? So, when I pick a song, I also have to go to Mr. Martini and be like, how much do you like this song? Like High Times. Mm-hmm. We listen to High Times, and now it's a joke. It's like, oh, we know this really badass performer that does this kick-ass number with a smoking joint to this number, But yeah, it kind of, same thing with like Southern Culture on the Skids, Camel Walk. I do a song or do a number to that. So when that song comes on, I immediately go into like like my choreography in my head, right? Because we're scarred by, that. So yeah, every time and now they play the Tiki Talkies playing the Goo Goo Muck, commercials are playing the Goo Goo Muck, and I'm just like, you better duck the Goo Goo Muck. So, just know that any baby burlesquers that haven't experienced that will happen to you, and you do have to roll with the punches, or you just don't go on stage. There were two choices. Either I find a new number, or I don't go on stage. And you
don't want to bring it on situation. It's like the same song, the same choreography. No,
same choreography by voluptuous performers, right? Like that would have gone over really, really well. But I survived, and I'm still here to tell the story about it. But
it's going to be a cool show, though. Like the entire show is like one song, but like all the different cover versions of it.
It's actually a pretty
because cool.
Yeah, because our numbers, me and Ginger's numbers, weren't anything alike. Like I think she was a schoolgirl, and I ended up turning that number into the occasional man because it's such a tropical. Because I was like, man, I don't want to keep it jungle rock. That's just too on the nose, right? Mm-hmm. And for me, I think I'm too much of a deep fucking thinker, especially when I get high. It's been brought to my attention that I become a really deep thinker when I'm high. I'm like, imagine that. So I was just like, I need to find something, So I found, is it Jerry? Oh, I can't. Yeah, again, I can't fucking remember anything, but it's Occasional Man, and it's tropical. So I was like, oh, I can have big feather fans and be like, I just need an occasional man, But yeah, that tropical outfit number, you saw the one, the leopard print one, that was originally Goo Goo Muck.
Yeah, I've had to repurpose a lot of my costumes just over the years because either it doesn't fit anymore, or I want to add something to it or change the song or like use it for something else. I'm like, oh, this would be better for something, like that. Like, for something else. But, what is the song is it Feeling Good? Yeah, Feeling Good. That's like everybody uses that one. I did that in class the other day. We just warmed up to it, and I was like, all right, we're going basic bitch, y'all. And they were like, what? And then the song started, birds flying high. And they were like, like laughing. I mean, it's a good song. Like, it's a good song to do for class, for like warming up and like across the floor work, because it's got some good bass, moments. It's got the horns, and it's really good to use for like musicality training.
I can't remember who. Somebody was talking about doing a show where laying all those songs to rest. Like it would be a show where laying all those songs to rest. The songs that we hear, all of the songs that are, I'm trying to think of,
the overdone ones. I feel like somebody did that though.
Did somebody already do that?
Did I have a dream? I thought somebody did that. Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, like using all the songs so like, what do? We got Feeling Good. We got Fever. We got the Jessica Rabbit
Lola
song.
Wants.
The what?
What Lola Wants. That's
what Lola Wants. The one that Jessica Rabbit sings. I can't remember that one.
And see, I would say something like Night Train, but I have a Night Train number, and I don't see Night Train on stages very much anymore. And that's a really good stripping song because it's got the da 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 da,
yeah,
right. But yeah, there's a reason those songs are used all the time.
Yeah,
but
I mean, they're good songs. It's like it's a joke, right, within our Burly community that they're like so overused, or whatever. But
so overused because I'm trying to think of some others because there was a song that I picked, and just a nice PSA out there for any troop leaders or HBICs or people that feel that they are like. There's doctors are told, bedside etiquette. I feel like troop leaders should also be told, because there were some songs that I picked, and the people that were advising me, the performers that were advising me in my troop, were kind of just like really shitty about it.
Really?
They're like, yeah, well, come on. They were just like, again, understand being jaded. We've all heard, how many fucking blood pools have we seen? How many fucking, like, again, everything's done. You don't, but just the way you come at things with people that are starting anew.
Oh, yeah.
In general.
We don't know. We're new.
We don't know. And then, and this is just like a general PSA. Just don't be an asshole. Why be an asshole? Like, you don't have to be an asshole in life.
There's a way to mentor without being an asshole.
Like, looking at me like, I can't believe you even brought up that song, like the stripper. Like, why would you even think that that's a good song?
How dare you?
How dare you? That is so overplayed. And it's like, well, shit, I don't fucking know.
I don't fucking know. Yeah.
No fucking clue. That's like you fucking coming in and asking me, I don't know.
Yeah, because like, okay, so my first song that I ever did burlesque to was Jingle Bell Rock. It was the Hall & Oates version. Yeah, fucking Hall & Oates, because rock and roll. But ever since fucking Mean Girls, everybody does it now, right? And I'm never gonna give it up, because that holds a special place in my heart, because it was my very first performance, and I'm actually going to revamp it for holiday shows, because the outfit I made for it is atrocious. It doesn't fit me anymore, and obviously now I've got 14 years of experience behind me that I can revamp it, well. But yeah, like now everybody fucking uses that song because of Mean Girls.
Right.
And it just got
said, there's producers that are looking for specific songs. So if you do, B-sides, and they're like, we're looking for a Christmas act, and I'm doing, a 5-pound box of money, that, they're looking for the Jingle Bell Rocks or the Frosty the Snowman, those type of,
and like
well-known.
I thought it was a pretty safe song, because the Jingle Bell Rock is Jingle Bell Rock. Like, you hear it anywhere, all the time, Christmas, whatever. And like, I started performing in 2010, but Mean Girls came out in 2004, I think. So like, it was fine. But then all of a sudden, I want to say in the last, 5 to 7 years, just with social media and people recreating that scene and like doing them in Christmas shows, I feel like it's just kind of like overdone now,
Yeah. And everything is everything,
Yeah, like if you want to use a song, use the fucking song. Like,
use the song.
like,
use the song.
Use the song.
And if you wanna give some friendly, the key word, and that's what gets me, is like, I've worked in corporate America for a really fucking long time. I run a fucking business. I talk to employees all the time. I talk to and I guarantee you, go to my employees and go, does she ever make you feel like you're less than, or that you asked a stupid question, or that you're bothering her, or whatever? No, because before I communicate to people, there is a little light in my head that's like, don't be a dick. You don't have to be an asshole, right?
Don't be a dick.
You don't have to be a dick. You can give constructive criticism without being an asshole about it, or have a tone to your voice, or have a certain eye roll, or whatever. Like, yes, I did Jingle Bell Rock. You have a problem with it, then that's your problem. I feel like that golden rule has really been, I feel like an old lady saying this, and I'm okay with my 46 years. I know I'm not old. I'm spry, young thing. But the golden rule of treat people how you would want to be treated.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't want somebody going up here and going, ugh, that is such an overplayed song. Like, everybody does that. You can You can say it without saying that.
I haven't fucking done it, okay?
Right? You could be like, oh, I really liked your song. That is such a Christmas classic. Yeah, it is a popular song among performers. You're conveying the same message.
Yeah.
Without being a fucking dick.
Yeah.
Just don't be a dick. That's today's message.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
That's today's message.
Well, did you pull a card yet? Because we got to wrap it up here.
We definitely have to wrap it up. I have a dog that...
I have a child.
Oh, you do have a child you have to pick up. Yeah. I'm like, let's make this quick. Yeah, we're doing good, though. We're doing good.
I remember when I told y'all that's the song I wanted to do, and Smalls McCoy goes, because your jingle is on my list.
Oh, that's right. I am really disappointed that the Hall & Oates number never came out. And like me and you can't do a Hall & Oates duet because you're too fucking tall. Like, I really wanted to do a Hall & Oates number with Smalls.
With Smalls?
Right. Like, wouldn't that have been great?
That would have been amazing.
That would have been amazing. I still want to make it happen, but I don't do duets anymore. By the advice of my husband. I mean, my manager. My manager.
My manager.
Who's like, you're not doing a stage slide anymore. Oh, no, fuck you, I am. The stage slide gets the...
slide. The rock star slide? You always need that. You always need
well,
that.
No, in 2018, I was in Houston, and I did my Grunge Go-Go piece that has it has a stage slide, and the corner of the stage hit my fucking knee. And I had no idea until I was getting off the stage, and there was
bleeding,
blood everywhere. Blood everywhere. I have a scar, and my husband's like, "You're 30. What was it?" He's like, "You're 39 years old or 37 years old. You shouldn't be." And I'm like, "That's why."
Mind his business.
Yeah, I was like,
business.
"Yeah, I have a scar on my knee." He's like, "Your knees were so perfect."
I literally have a little scab that is on my knee right now from my performance I did 2 weeks ago where I got on my knee for like a hot fucking second. I literally just did like a little floor work and then stood right back up, and I was like scratching my knee, and I was like, what is this? And I looked down, and yeah, I've got a little like rug burn on my knee.
No.
It didn't even slide.
It's those old knees. Just kidding. So I had a card pop out.
Give it to me.
You ready for it? I don't know. I feel like it's all about this last week. So it's the Tower. The Tower. Which is collapse, losing foundation, change. Big change.
Big change.
Huge. Big change. Huge change. Huge. Which, again, right now, so it flipped out reversed. So that has a different spin on it. But what it means is, it has some dark night of the soul energies. It's all about internal change and the choices you must make when you have to take, or when you have total responsibility. The awakening that a dark night of the soul offers is one that can set your life ablaze. What was once acceptable no longer is. The people you wanted to be with before, you suddenly find that you don't have anything in common with. And with this new knowing comes the responsibility to act. This awakening will force you to change your life simply because you cannot accept the status quo any longer.
Yep.
Take this as an affirmation to move forward with those changes. And I feel, especially with what's coming down the line, which after, I get off of here with you, I'm going to be going to do some early voting. And I have no problem letting people know I will be voting for Harris and Waltz. Hands fucking down. And I'm just letting people know also, just so my friends are fucking well aware, depending on how it goes, I may be reaching out to German family going, hey, ich liebe Deutschland, ja? So yeah, right now, and with everything in like last week's Aries new moon is about change and taking charge. Right.
It really is. Like this last full moon, it really like shook some shit up. I feel like it just did one of these like,
with the snow globe.
Snow globe. I was just like, fuck this. And like, I feel like it got to a point where it's like the universe is done being like nudging and is finally like, all right, I'm about to just like flip this table over. And it got our attention, and it's forcing us to really fucking look at shit that's not working, people that aren't working, jobs that aren't working, relationships, and really finally putting our foot down and being like, all right, like,
they're not giving, it's not going to give us the opportunity to have like, again, we can no longer accept this. We have to change.
We have to change. So like the full moon was like bringing it to our attention, and I feel now that we have slid into like Scorpio season, it's like the time to actually apply it.
Right.
Like, it's like no more fucking around. Like, so that's what Scorpio season's about. So I'm excited.
Well, anytime I the Tower and the three of Swords, they all, I hate the Three of Swords, and it's I hate it because it when it pops up for me, it's always like shit that I don't, it's loss. It's serious loss, serious sorrow. And I
mean, loss is hard in any shape or form.
Right.
And I feel like people really don't take time to grieve anymore because we're expected to just like suck it up, buck it up, and get on with things. And that's where we fuck up, because then it hits us later. It might take 6 weeks, 6 months, whatever. But one day you're just sitting there and you start crying, or you're yelling, or something that's so out of character for you. And that's your fucking grief, man. Like, that's the grief that you did not honor. Right. And like,
and you can't drop it like it's hot anymore, because that grief is being stored in your hips, and you're like, oh
yeah. Like, maybe you start getting like pain out of nowhere. Maybe you've got some trouble breathing because lungs are associated with grief in Chinese medicine. You got to pay attention to that, because your body will let you know. Like, your body, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, like, your body will let you know. And I feel like that's just happening across the board right now with a lot of people. I keep talking to people, seeing things online in the news, like whatever. And I don't know. I just can't help but feel that people are starting to wake the fuck up. And we're just tired. We're tired of being tired.
We're just tired women. Tired, childless, cat owning women. Oh, that's just me.
We're just tired. All right, Remi, we're gonna wrap it up. Are you ready? Do you have it now? Do you have our tagline now?
I love Scorpios. Can we just say this as we're going into Scorpio season? Do you have it, Remi? Like, we're both learning it as we go along. Okay, my friend, my little fucking stabby friend.
You like stabbing?
Stabby friend. And I'm like, wait a minute, like, you were okay. We're gonna
3, 2, 1. Take it easy. Take it sleazy. And a little stripteasy. There you go.
You were stumbling over at the last time.
No, I was not. I was not stumbling. I was waiting for you.
You were waiting for. I love that, Dee. I love you, Dee.
All right. I'll talk to you later, Remi.
Talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Love you. Bye.